Most people who budget still run out of money. Not because they are careless, not because they earn too little, but because the way budgeting is typically taught is structurally incompatible with how modern spending actually works. A spreadsheet that tracks what already happened is not a financial system, it is a financial diary, and there is a meaningful difference between the two that most budgeting advice never addresses. The question worth asking going into 2026 is not, how do I spend less? It is, why does my current financial structure keep producing the same result regardless of how aware I am of it? Consider someone like Sophie. She's 31, living in Austin, Texas. Gross salary of $72,000. After federal and state income tax, she takes home approximately $4,300 a month. She pays $1,450 in rent, $380 on a car loan, $190 in health and auto insurance, $95 in streaming, cloud storage, and fitness subscriptions, and carries $5,600 in credit card debt at 22% APR. She has no formal savings plan, but tells herself she saves whatever is left at the end of the month. Sophie tracks her spending. She uses an app. She knows roughly where her money goes, and yet at the end of most months, there is very little left. She is not reckless. She is structurally exposed. The flaw is not in Sophie's awareness. It is in the architecture of her system. She budgets by subtraction. Income minus expenses equals what remains. The problem is that subtraction-based budgeting always prioritizes present commitments over future position. Whatever is left over is treated as savings, but behavioral economics is consistent on this point. What is left over is almost always spent. Here is what that costs her structurally. She carries $5,600 in credit card debt at 22% APR. Using compound interest, A equals P times 1 plus R over N, raised to NT, if she makes only minimum payments over 3 years, she will repay approximately $8,100. That is $2,500 in interest on debt she believes she is managing. Simultaneously, the $200 she intends to save each month but rarely does, compounded at a modest 6% over 10 years, would produce approximately $32,000. She is not losing money dramatically, she is losing it slowly, inside a system she designed herself. The reason this pattern persists is not discipline, it is architecture reinforced by psychology. Sophie's spending decisions are not made in a vacuum, they are made inside a social environment where her peers rent similar apartments, drive similar cars, and maintain similar lifestyles. The reference point is not her financial goals, it is the consumption level of the people immediately around her. This is not social comparison in the shallow sense, it is hedonic adaptation operating on a structural level. Every income increase Sophie has received over the past 5 years has been absorbed almost entirely with lifestyle expansion. A better apartment, a newer car loan instead of a used purchase, more subscriptions, more travel. The number in her bank account has grown. The gap between income and outflow has not. That is lifestyle inflation working precisely as it is designed to, invisibly, incrementally, and with complete social endorsement. Over a 10-year period, the structural difference between Sophie's current system and a pre-allocated one, where savings and debt repayment are treated as fixed expenses rather than residuals, is not marginal. It is likely the difference between entering her 40s with financial optionality and entering them with the same monthly obligations simply at a higher income level. Financially structured individuals do not budget differently because they are more disciplined. They budget differently because they have changed the question they are answering. The question is not, what can I afford this month? It is, what does this decision cost me across the next 10 years? That reframe is not motivational, it is mathematical. And once you apply it consistently, the monthly budget stops being a record of behavior and starts being a design document for a financial outcome. A budget that works in 2026 is not a new category system or a stricter tracking app. It is a structure where the future is funded before the present is spent. Everything else is just documentation. If this changed how you see money, consider subscribing.